protect and watch over me, as a shepherd watches over his flock. يا إلهي سيبني أمي خافاني. No. Okay.
求求菩萨帮我！求求帮我！
Hey guys, I just came back from seeing The Mummy, and my overall impression is this movie is extremely mediocre. It's below average and, to be honest, very disappointing, but not a horrible movie. The movie opens with the logo Dark Universe, which at this stage I was laughing out loud. I was like, come on, seriously? Are you really going there? While I admire the commitment of Universal Studio in making Dark Universe, I was really afraid that this movie is gonna be another Batman v Superman scenario, which they focus too much on world building. And unfortunately, I was right. The problem of the film started right after the opening logo, where Russell Crowe's character, Dr. Jekyll, is narrating the whole backstory of the mummy. Instantly, any suspense on the creature has been spoiled because you already know everything. Yes, the original Karloff version did have a narration on the backstory of the mummy in the beginning of the film, but it was different. Here, they were telling it as it was repeated in the history book. It was a myth, yes, but it was a commonly known myth like Santa Claus or the Bigfoot. So giving the backstory to the mummy help us to subjectify ourselves in the world that the characters are living in. But in here, the movie is said to be relatively grounded in reality, and the history of mummy is supposed to be erased from the human history. Therefore, it will work better if throughout the film we learn little by little about the history of mummy throughout, rather than knowing everything instantaneously, which spoiled any sense of surprise. Also, the character Jenny, played by Annabelle Wallis, is a sidekick to Tom Cruise's character, has some really terrible dialogues, and some of the things she does is very damsel in distress. Every single plot hole in this movie has been reflected on her character for some reason. And to her credit, it's not her acting. She did a fine job acting, and from some of the behind the scenes videos I saw, she participated in some action scenes as well, so I know she's making efforts. It's not fair to put the blame on her. The problem comes from the script. Once again, the script is really badly written, especially on her character's part. You know, come to think about it, last week we have Wonder Woman, which is a really great movie with a really strong female protagonist. And this week in The Mummy, we have exactly the opposite. I don't know what happened, but I think we should improve with time. But somehow, seeing this film, I feel like we're going backwards. I mentioned the script was really bad. It's not because there was a lot of logic-defying moments. And by that, I mean there was a lot of times when you straight up question the logic of the film. I came in expecting an entertaining action movie, and even that I didn't get. At least in the first 20 minutes I got some action, and then the film just turned into an exposition movie. Some people criticize the movie as a setup to Dark Universe. Same problem with Batman v Superman, where the whole movie is a setup for Justice League, while not focusing on the story. Well, even by then, they were not doing a very good job. I was expecting them to set up for other horror films, but there's no sense of surprise or in awe or something when characters see those strange creatures. They were just like, oh, there's Dracula. Oh, there's the creature from Black Lagoon. Alright, so what's next? There's no sense of excitement whatsoever. The best part about this movie so far is Tom Cruise. The guy commanded every scene he's in. He showed a lot of emotions, and he is the only character in the film that shows genuine interest in what's going on around him. He reminded me a lot about Indiana Jones and Nicolas Cage in The National Treasure. And like I said, I saw some of the behind the scene video, and he performed some of his own stunts, like what he did with Mission Impossible. He did a much better job than what he did in Jack Reacher, and if the film doesn't have Tom Cruise, it will be a lot worse than what it is. Overall, this movie is extremely disappointing. I've seen some reviews before coming into the movie. I was never influenced by any reviews. All I can say is it's good to know what other people are thinking so that I can know what I should be expecting. I have really low expectations. I just want it to be an entertaining summer flick. Same with Pirates of the Caribbean. I enjoyed the movie. Even though it's not a good movie, I enjoyed it for what it is. Unfortunately, The Mummy didn't even give me that. I think it's worse than the Brendan Fraser's Mummy, because the Brendan Fraser's the old Mummy is entertaining. It's a guilty pleasure, but this movie isn't even a guilty pleasure. The best thing I can say about this movie is mediocre. This movie gets a 5.5 out of 10 from me, which is the lowest rating movie in my opinion. Guys, thank you so much for rewatching my video. I used some clips, but honestly Universal doesn't like my reviews, so I had to make some adjustments. So check out for some more of my video, and as always, if you think I'm good, most likely you're pretty good too.